Hey, what's going on, everybody? Here we go. We're going to go to the most important segment. You're going to need to go ahead. Listen, might as well save this because there's going to be a lot of gems in this one. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way you can know and share it to your friends. This is going to save you in the stock market. Let's go ahead and get this thing going.
Okay, you want to jump into the stock market, that's fine. Come on armed at your own peril. So I'm here to prep you before the battle begins this weekend. Horns versus calls.
All right, let's go ahead and get right to it because this is going to be the horns first because the bulls are really pushing up the market. You can see what Hilton did. I kind of touched on this last week, and you see it spiked up, got into that level, but it looks like it come back to retracement. I think this is just a retracement for a bounce so that way they can get new bulls in. The Chevron did break my heart. Unfortunately, it spiked up the way I expected it, but I thought it was going to hold and get into that 170. It did not. So I'm looking for this to find another level of support and then go ahead and try to attack that again. Now 3M, it is still in that area, so there's some opportunity here. If this thing explodes, I'm looking at a micro trend to this upside and see if it's going to continue to the upside, so just keep that in mind. Now let's get into this week. This week I'm looking at Home Depot. Yes, it does have a downtrend. Yes, it looks like it's getting weak, but when we look at it as a whole in its totality, I think there's a little bit more to these double pattern, head versus head and shoulder, whatever it is that you want to see, and we're probably going to go ahead and push up, maybe get into that 380, 390 level. I don't think it's going to get to 400, but it should be good. IWM, we got ourselves a little bit of a pullback, but it's still bullish. We just got the measure move of this W. I kind of told y'all this about last week, and I'm looking for this thing to kind of continue to this upside. So let's see what happens there. And then now we got DR Horton. There is a little bit of a secular shift. I think people are getting out of certain sectors and moving into other sectors. Health, home building is probably one of the best ones to get into. So even if you don't follow DR Horton and with DHI, or you go with the NAR, there's a couple of them that are in my radar right now, and DR Horton looks like a good retracement to continue this bullish side. Now let's go ahead and get into the claws with the bears. So the bears have been beating up the market. I told y'all about Adobe. Adobe is pulling back. I told you about SMAs. This one looked like a bearish diversion. I told you about Amazon. It looked like it was just riding down, and Amazon Prime is over. So there is no momentum that's looking like it's going to continue to that upside. It is at a key level support. Let's see if we can get back up above that order block. If not, we're going to go ahead and claw this thing right on down. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about First Solar. So First Solar had a nice little pop in the middle of June, July, and it looks like they're starting to kind of trace it. Now, where it is in a very interesting spot because it's almost done a 100% recovery ever since the explosion off of 200. So I want to see what it does with this level because that's a $100 drop for a couple of weeks. So this can really put some pressure on the stock if it breaks under $200 and start to attack the 200. Now the next one we're going to talk about is DataDog. Now DataDog is just in the wrong space at the wrong time because you already see what happened with Crowd. Crowd got beat up on Friday, they got beat up. The only difference with DataDog, it looks like they start to buy up some of this dip. If it can hold this micro trend, we're probably going to continue to that upside, and then it's going to try to get back and recover some of this stuff. But because this is a tech sector ticker, it's going to be very tough for me to believe that it's going to break that downward trend. So just keep an eye on that. The last one we're going to talk about is Alcoa. This is in the mineral side, so they make aluminum. This is a really, really good company. I played this a couple times during the pandemic, but unfortunately it looks like it's in the middle of an M pattern. And if this M pattern actually pans out, we're talking about under $30 at with a little bit of momentum, or it's going to bounce around that $30 level with the order block there. But it did break the 200 EMA, which can be a problem. So if we actually follow this downtrend and we kind of do something along the lines of this here, you're probably going to get some continuation back to that downside, and I don't see anything really good. So there's some opportunity to get this at $30, and that's your horns versus claws.